Welcome to 1 Million Cups. How many of you guys, this is your first time ever at 1 Million Cups? I won't make you stand up. Awesome, that's great guys, fantastic. Let me give you a quick overview of what is 1 Million Cups, for those of you that aren't too familiar and don't know. 1 Million Cups is a weekly entrepreneurship program. So while you guys are here, we do this every week, every Wednesday, it doesn't change, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and it's done all across the country. So it's actually sort of rolling across the coast right now. Everybody does it at 9 a.m. local time. We have 2 startups that will speak today, and they'll each present for 6 minutes. After that 6 minutes, we'll then open it up, open forum. You can raise your hand, and we'll give you the microphone, and you can ask a question, hopefully a decently thoughtful question. And we'll have just a conversation about the company with the entrepreneur for about 20 minutes. We'll do that round 2, so you get to do it twice. The whole goal of this is to educate entrepreneurs and people in the local community about companies that have started here. It's also sort of an experiential learning process, right? You can see where someone's messed up, you can learn from that. You can see where they've succeeded, hopefully learn from that. And then you can also get feedback. Entrepreneurs can ask each other questions, we can get to know one another. The next goal is to equip us with tools just to learn how to grow our businesses better. And the last sort of main thing we want to do is we want to accelerate the local companies into our community and beyond, right? If we have 100 people in the room collaboratively, hopefully we have some connections that one person might not have access to. So that's sort of the overview of what 1 Million Cups is, and it's in 25 cities now across the nation. And I like to just brag on Tulsa, but we're typically top 2 or 3 cities with the most attendance every week, which is awesome. So our big sister is Kansas City. They have about 300 entrepreneurs every week. That's our goal. We'll push for that. All right, our first company today I'm very excited about. They're called the 2 Guys Bowtie, and I'm friends with both of the founders. We've been friends with Adam for a couple years now, and he and I always get together and talk about ideas, usually good ideas. We don't usually talk about crappy ideas, but I guess we could. Adam is a great guy, and he actually has several different ventures he's been very successful with, sort of with selling products online. But I'll let him share with you about his latest venture, and give it up for Adam this morning.
You guys hear me without the microphone? I just want to say thank you for getting a chance to come in here and talk with you guys today. I appreciate the opportunity. Hold the mic to the mic. My name is Adam T. I'm one of the co-founders of the 2 Guys Bowtie company. We make unique bow ties from bellflowers. They're designed to just kind of showcase the individual's unique style. My business partner Tim, the other 2 Guys Bowties company here today, but I really want to come and share a little bit of our story with you guys today. Specifically kind of share how we started as a company. So really, when we first launched, we kind of had this explosive growth. We were featured on the site Print.com, which is a gear for guys site. They get about 2 million hits per month. So it's a really great launching pad for our company. After about 3 weeks, we were already contacted by GQ, Esquire, asking to feature our bow ties on their magazines. And so, as you can imagine, as a small startup, it was a whirlwind. We were scrambling, just trying to keep up with demand. There were nights I would actually pull my car into the shop, and we'd have to run the machines all night long, and I would sleep and just wake up every half hour and reset the machine to keep the bow ties going. And so it's just been kind of a great whirlwind opportunity to be a part of. And so basically, now here we are a year down the road. Our manufacturing processes are really efficient and just they go well and smoothly. And we just recently got 2nd place in the Tulsa Startup Cup. We've been featured in People Magazine, on Good Morning America, on MTV Music Awards, lots of other great publicity. So it's been kind of cool to be a part of a company that is, it's, when people first hear about it, they're like, you're making wooden bow ties. They think it's kind of a weird look, but it's really exciting to be able to be a part of something that people have gotten behind and gotten excited about. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. And as Tim was sharing a little bit, I love products. That's what I do. I love to do online marketing, market research. That's developing and selling products either online or through retailers. That's kind of what I'm passionate about doing. And really in Tulsa, we have such a great opportunity, and it's such a blessing to be a part of this community because we were able to start and go to visit the Fab Lab, not the Fab Lab, but and go and actually see their equipment and use their equipment and actually have these awesome opportunities that 10 years ago were not available to small businesses. And that's really what we're passionate about continuing and helping evolve, is that ability to use technology to grow small business. And we do all our manufacturing in-house. We're really passionate about keeping our manufacturing lean and efficient and adaptable, because as you guys know, the fashion industry changes quickly. And so we don't ever want to be saying that's not something we can do, or we don't do that. Instead, what we want to be saying is, how can we do that? And specifically, like our lapel bar, that was one of the things that we did that. We said, how do we take wood, which is typically a hard, non-flexible product, and create something that's both flexible and durable, and that has this dapper, gentlemanly feel that we go for. And so we sat down and we did a bunch of R&D, and after a week we had prototypes. After a month and a half, we launched 25 different lapel flowers with 4 different exotic hardwoods that have now been seen on The Voice, GQ.com, and Ray Lewis has been rocking a bunch of different ones of our lapel flowers at all of his press stuff in the NFL playoffs. So I mean, it's been an awesome experience to be a part, again, of a company that people are getting excited about. And that's really kind of, like I said, what I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry, just lost my train of thought there. I just want to share just a couple quick pictures. Basically, that's one of the guys in GQ wearing a lapel flower. That's kind of a runway show that our bow ties were seen on. This is pretty cool. The lead singer of Gloriana and all of his groomsmen wore our bow ties in their wedding. That was featured in Country People magazine. So again, it's just like that publicity and that press has been awesome and exciting for our company. These are a couple of the other places that have featured our product as well. One of the big things that we focus on as a company is our workmanship and our craftsmanship. We really focus on keeping this old school vibe, and that's something that we strive as we grow to keep that, even though we're growing bigger and having to, keep up with production and capacity, but we always want that handcrafted feel to stay with our product. And there's just some more shots of our bow ties. There's a shot of the lapel flower. And the last thing I kind of want to talk about is we're another segment of our market that we really target, which is weddings. Weddings are awesome for us because we're able to just customize and design to meet the customer's need, which is usually for weddings is a pretty customized thing. They want a matching color scheme. And again, this really goes back to that adaptability of manufacturing. Being able to stay lean in our manufacturing allows us to then adapt to the needs of the customer and meet those needs. And really, we want to be a part of Tulsa's culture and the changing, the image that people see in Tulsa. We want to be a part of that community and that change where Tulsa is known for design and creativity, and we just want to be a part of that, and we're excited. And I just appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come and talk, and I'd love to hear any questions or thoughts that you guys have for me.
All right, we're going to open up for questions. Let me point Baron out here. Baron, you guys look to Baron and he'll set the order, and then Adam will just sort of follow that.
As far as the wedding world, I'm a regional marketing guy for different wedding companies. Do you have distribution in Kansas City or Dallas, or are you sticking mainly through Tulsa right now?
So we currently we sell through about 60 different retailers across the U.S. We have distribution in France, Japan, the Netherlands, Chile, coming on in South Korea pretty quick, which is kind of weird. It's actually a pretty big hotbed for fashion, so it's a pretty exciting time. But as far as Kansas, we actually are not real established in the Kansas area, so we should definitely talk. So that's going to be one of my asks at the end, so I appreciate it.
So I've got a two-guy bow tie story.
Okay, awesome.
So one of my partners in one of my businesses is a lead singer in a band out of Austin, Texas called Alpha Brand. When they were up at King's Ballroom, the partner came up and the lead guitarist of the band has been wearing bow ties for a while. And your partner came up to the show with a handful of bow ties and handed them out to all the band members. The whole band wore the bow ties in concert. Which leads to my question of, obviously getting your product in the hand of musicians and people who are in front of audiences and publicity is important for you. What have you done other than the publicity in the magazines to put your product in the hand of those physical people?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think for any startup and wherever your target market is, whoever the people that you're going for, I think that's a great focus to point out. And so what we kind of do is we find those people, those tastemakers, those people that we feel like fit our brand, are open to the idea. Because when you hear the idea of a wooden bow tie at first, you're like, I mean, I can't tell you how many doors have slammed in our faces. And then later on they'll look at the website and they'll be like, oh my gosh, those are awesome, you know? And so it's actually funny, thevoice.com, or The Voice, they basically said, that's so weird, just send us a website or something. And then like literally that day, they're like, we need you to express ship us those like tomorrow because they're gonna be on the show on Monday night. And so basically, I mean, that's what we do though. We pick out, we cherry pick those people that we think are a great fit for our company, and we call them and we email them, and we just, like, if we can find an address, we'll send them product. And so, I mean, like, so if you know someone famous, let me know, because we will send them a bow tie or a lapel flower.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you had to ramp up your production, and if you see your company always being able to work out of Tulsa, or what you see in the future as hopefully the company keeps growing.
Yeah. So I kind of touched on it a little bit in my presentation, but we started out like prototyping and making stuff at the Fab Lab. Now we have all of our own equipment in-house, and what's really cool is most of the equipment we're currently running at like 10% capacity. I mean, obviously, we'll need to bring in more people as capacity grows, but people are addable. You know, equipment. You know, when your equipment can only produce so many units per hour, I mean, that's nothing. You got to get more equipment for. But as far as that goes, no. I mean, I feel like the place that we're at, it would be very easy to add another warehouse right next door. There's several that are open next to us if we needed to, adding more equipment. And so, the benefit though is, by keeping our manufacturing in-house, again, we can adapt, we can change, we can customize, but it's actually really affordable for us. I mean, we're cutting out that middleman cost, and so it allows us to be more profitable by doing that. Not every business can manufacture their own product, but we are thankfully in an opportunity that we can do that.
I haven't seen bow ties before this. I mean, I've seen yours today, but other someone else's.
Yes.
There are. So, with it being a fairly new concept, how did you figure out where to start your pricing? Has that changed since you first started? Once you kind of get some name recognition, So, how did you figure out where to start?
Yeah,
and then where are you guys now? And how are you?
That's a good question. That was a big fight early on, and that's one of the beauties of having a business partnership, because you get to have two different ideas and you get to battle it out to get the best one. Basically, like, we kind of decided where we wanted to fall in the market, because we knew that this is an unheard of concept, and so we said we can come out and we can be this novelty product. It's like, hey, put this on, put a college logo on it, and like, let's just make it like a gag gift. So we can do that, and we'll probably still sell a lot of them. Or we can design this in such a way that it's gentlemanly, it's dapper, it looks sharp. And so basically we said, let's go that route. So then we just kind of did market research. We said, what are quality fabric bow ties going for? And we basically kind of targeted to kind of fall right in the middle of those price points. We don't want to be the Walmart, but we don't want to be the high end. We have kind of, as we've transitioned and grown, you talked about brand recognition. What we've done is, instead of just saying, hey, we're raising our prices because we're cool, we've kind of changed, and what we do is we've launched new products that have better features maybe than other products. I don't have a good one here, but we launched like a line that has its inlay, so it actually has like two different bow types that are fused together, they look super sick. But we charge $85 for those, and so that's been a way we've been able to increase our price point, but still continue to offer the price point that we started at. So it's not like we're just ripped off because of it.
I have a question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were next.
Talk about your manufacturing process. You started out in Fab Lab, and what the tipping point was that you made you transitioned from design to Fab Lab to in-house.
Yeah, kind of the Fab Lab, they have a policy like, you're welcome to design and create there. You're not supposed to manufacture there. It's not designed to be a place to manufacture. I think there's some flexibility in that. I think they're willing to work with people as they grow, and they want to help small businesses grow. So for us, really, it was kind of like that was the place we started creating and prototyping. But we really, pretty much, when we launched, we put the capital into our own. We believed in the idea enough to put the money in for our own equipment to start it right then. And so we really, once we started manufacturing quantity or to sell, we were manufacturing that in our own facility.
Okay, now it's my turn. So you experienced a lot of success since you started out, which is really exciting, and it leaves a lot of possibility for you for what's coming up. Where do you want to be in 6 months, 2 years, and then 10 years from now? What do you want you guys to have accomplished?
Yeah, so when we started, we were a one product company. We made wooden bow ties, and so we were kind of the bow tie guys, or the wooden bow tie guys. Now what we've done is, by launching the lapel flowers, we're kind of transitioning our company. We're becoming a menswear accessory company, and that's really what we want to be, is actually just a apparel accessory company. And so through 2014, we have several new product types that we're planning on launching out in the accessory arena that will continue to establish us as tastemakers in the accessory arena of menswear.
So, on the national scene, you
Who's
guys,
talking? I'm sorry. Oh, man, not my turn.
you guys are driving the conversation for style and fashion, and I'd be curious how it's being received in Tulsa, because Tulsa isn't necessarily known as the most fashionable city in America. So how are you being received by Tulsans, and how are you driving style to be more prevalent in Tulsa?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things that we hope to do is by being a company and that has been successful outside of Tulsa, and just to share like a little bit of our numbers, 45% of our sales are from outside the U.S. 95% are from outside Oklahoma. So our product, while we love Tulsa and we're really happy to be a part of the small business community, this is not necessarily, like you said, our area it's not a hotbed for fashion. And so what we're finding though is that it's slowly being adapted because it's adapted elsewhere. And so we kind of, when we started, didn't focus on, let's not try and convince everyone in Tulsa that our bow tie are people. Let's convince the people in New York and LA and the other hotbeds of fashion that our product is a fashion item. And then eventually the people in Tulsa are going to say, yeah, that's awesome.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, where are they available in Tulsa, and are they available online? My second question is, how big is your staff at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so availability. Currently in Tulsa, Ida Red, Style Lab, and Dwelling Spaces, I believe, off the top of my head, are the 3 places here in Tulsa that you can hear. Sorry, what was your next question? Oh, you can order online. Yes, you can order them off the website, woodenbowties.com. And I suggest, like, if you get a chance, just check out the website. Like, we love feedback. Lots of really cool product pictures and stuff on there for you to take a look at. And then, what was your second question?
Your staff size and how you
Yeah, so basically when we started out, it was me and Tim. And like I said, I was sleeping at the wood shop and just trying to see my wife and kids as much as I could, but it was a lot of work. We then hired a bunch of ORU college kids came in and helped us out. And so we were during Christmas, I want to say we had like 9 or 10 people working, part-time, doing things. As we transitioned and really, I talked about that lean manufacturing process, we've really gotten and refined the process down to where the manufacturing side of things we're really efficient at. And so we have one full-time girl who works for us in the office. She handles customer service and shipping. We've got another guy that's pretty much full-time, and then several part-time people that come in and just help make whatever we need to kind of keep up with demand. Yes.
How tight are you to wood?
We love wood, but we are open to other material types, and we have a few kind of design ideas. The kind of thing is, we're still convincing lots of people that this concept is cool. I mean that's something that we work every day, and we feel like we made a lot of traction in our first year. And you asked about, you know, what are the next 6 months to a year. Look, that's continually our push to show people why this is a fashion statement, why this is a fashion line that they want to be a part of. And so we don't want to too quickly jump into some other things, but we play with metal, and concrete, and stone, and all of those are pretty cool mediums that we play with. Those scenes are pretty cool. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that you have international clothing distributors.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you chose the international distributors that you're working with and what your relationship
Yeah.
is like?
So there's a program, and I don't know if it's going to be available still again this year. I actually contacted them recently. I haven't heard back yet, but Oklahoma has a program called the Step Grant, or the Step Program, which is really cool. Basically, you show them, you say, hey, we're a company, we're operating, we're profitable. You have to show them those main 3 things, and then they will allow you to have a part of this grant that's designed to get you out of the country, basically. And so they give you money to go to international trade shows or things like that. And so we attended a show in Paris to present our bow ties and to share them as a Pret a Porter show. So it was a really exciting opportunity. Going back to the main question though about distributors, a lot of them have contacted us from publicity they've seen. And so really we look at what they currently distribute or how excited they really are. We don't want to bring someone on who's not 100% sold out and believes in our product. Our most successful distributor is in France. He is sold out 100% to our brand. He loves our brand. And he's been the most successful with it. I think South Korea is going to be that way, but they're just now coming online, so it's kind of a new relationship.
Earlier, you mentioned that band in Austin, James, how you want to keep your bow ties in front of people who kind of match the style that you're going for. Just wanting your product in their hands to get publicity. And just a minute ago, someone mentioned how Tulsa's not necessarily known as a fashion icon city. So have you ever considered using a group like this to be your local Tulsa ambassador? Just hand out bow ties to all the guys here. So Tulsa becomes that next Austin.
I like that idea. Why don't you and I talk after the presentation? But you know, you kind of said something there. You're talking about how, you know, we target people who's the right fit and the right style for. Like, I don't think everyone in here should wear a wooden bow tie. If you don't feel comfortable with the idea of wearing a wooden bow tie, or even a regular bow tie, because I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't wear a regular bow tie. It's just about your personal style. What is that? And we want to fit that. And if we fit that, then we want to be a part of your design. But if we don't, I mean, that's awesome, and you know, I think you can still have great style.
So what are your markets that are good, or what's stopping other people from coming after the same? You have patents on this, or anyone that's CNC mill kind of get it?
Yeah, there's really nothing stopping anybody, and in fact, it's pretty exciting when we see other people doing what we're doing. And there's a couple companies like in Ukraine that are literally like, we launch something, and then a couple weeks later, they do the exact same thing. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, and really, like, we're building brand awareness. We're creating an entirely new segment of the bow tie market. So the more people that are out there doing it or trying to do it, really the better for us. That's building awareness, it's building recognition of the product type. We have, because we're the first in the marketplace, and because we've established and been worn by so many of these tastemakers, and I think we really strive in all of our marketing and press to keep this quality craftsmanship feel. I don't really, not that I don't worry about competitors. I mean, I think you always have to keep a pulse on your competitors, but I would say they help us, they don't detract from us. There's plenty of room for everyone in the marketplace. Yeah.
Website, looking at the names, like Cecil, Chester, Clarence, how did you come up with those names? That's not really
That's exactly right. Yeah, so we basically sat down the bow ties. We said, like, what is our vibe? What are we going for? And so we went back to, like, I want to say like the 1900s. Like, what were the most popular names back then? And that's how we picked the names of all of our bow ties. For our lapel flowers, we went to the original 13 colonies and we said, like, what were some of the main cities and stuff? And so all our lapel flowers are named after cities and stuff in the original 13 colonies. And so it's, again, it's going back to that heritage, that old school craftsmanship. We really try and infuse that into every aspect of our branding.
Can you,
Yes, hey Tim.
can you really quickly, I mean, you glossed over it, but I think it's very fascinating how you went from idea to proof of concept. Can you just real quickly run over the timeline on that and sort of just, you know, the excitement level and what happened that sort of moved you?
Yeah, okay. So basically, like, and Tim touched on it a little bit, like, I love developing products. Like, that's what I do. And so Tim came to me with this idea and he said, hey, let's make one of bow ties. Within like 2 days, we had prototypes in hand. And so we were like, okay, what's next? How are we going to do this next? And so I want to say it was about a week and a half later, we had kind of what we considered our full collection. I do a little bit of website design, and I've designed our entire website and everything. And so basically, like, I put the website up a week later, and so this has been now a culmination of 3 weeks, I guess. And what's really cool is, I mean, again, going back to that manufacturing, that lean manufacturing, we actually scrapped our entire product line after launching. 3 days after launching, we scrapped the whole line and relaunched a whole new collection because we found a better way to make the bow ties. And that's really what we're about. Like, we're about keeping that lean mentality so that whenever there is a change, we can adapt and we can change, and we're not ever stuck saying, nah, it's not something we can do, or that's not what we want to do. We want to be on the cutting edge of that kind of stuff. Did that kind of answer your question? Okay.
In regard to the lapel flowers,
Yes.
have you given any thought around the idea of applying that to a nonprofit? So one of the things that you'll see is the lapel flower of the pink ribbon, or something along those lines. You'll see, I'm a member of the United. Could you imagine? In so many times, nonprofits are looking at a way to bring conversation between who's wearing it. Could you ever see branding one of those lapels for men or women around a nonprofit?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a great idea, and it's really not something that we've really explored as of now. I mean, we've looked at doing like events and being a part of like fundraising, but the only thing with the bow ties we looked at doing, there's the Coaches Against Prostate Cancer. All the coaches wear blue bow ties, whatever Prostate Awareness Week is, and we actually contacted them and said, look, we'll donate blue wooden bow ties to every coach. You know, like, let us be a part of this. And they had already selected the bow tie for that, that year, and so we weren't able to be a part of that. But that's definitely something we would be open to. And so, again, if anybody has any connections, we love networking. So let us know.
All right, so we'll jump in there. How can we, the community, help you guys?
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, if you're famous or you know someone who's famous, let us know. We'll send them a bow tie. And also, if you know of any store owners, I mean, you were talking about your wedding connection. I mean, that would be huge. That's great for us. We're always looking for retailers that are a good fit, that like our product, that believe in it. Because the stores that believe in it sell it. And so, we'd love to partner with you guys on that. And then for me, on a personal note, like, I love meeting with people who want to develop and launch new products. Like, if you or somebody you know has an idea, give them my name. Call me. I would love to go to coffee with you, talk with you, just hear what you got going on and see if there's any way I can help out or be a part of that.
And I can vouch for Adam, if you guys are considering something like this in this space with an online product, he's your guy to talk to. Put your contact slide up. He's very honest, so if you have very sensitive feelings, then maybe don't go to coffee with him. He will shoot holes in exactly what's wrong, and it's great. It's a great sort of process. So Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to be here this morning.
All right, we've got a couple of announcements this morning if you guys want to come on up. The amazing Dave Berlin is going to have an announcement for us this morning, so pick it up.
Morning, everybody. My name's Dave Berlin. I made the announcement a few weeks ago. We're still doing tours every Wednesday immediately following this meeting. 10:30, you guys are more than welcome to come right down the street. We're at 16th in Boston. We have about 7 companies that all opt out of the same space, so it's a little bit more of an established startup village. Some of the companies have been around for 20 years, some of the companies have been around for less than 2 years. So a lot of great stuff going on down there. DJ Connection, Elephant in the Room, insurance, a lot of different options right out of the same one. We're going for more like a Zappos feel. So we're starting to open up for tours, bring everybody through and see what we can do to help Tulsa grow and entrepreneur community. So 10:30, we're going to be down here.
All right, thanks, Dave. I'm going to introduce the next person who's got an announcement, and he might turn a little red because he's actually in Oklahoma Magazine. He's single in the city. Aaron Miller, guys.
Thank you. Well, I did want to make two quick plugs this morning. The first is with all the awesome people at Tide Bros. We are really pushing Uber to come to Tulsa. So, in the spirit of last week's 1 million cups, if you guys do want to pull out your phones and make sure that you've got Uber, that car sharing app, or ride sharing app downloaded on your phone. They're really interested in coming to Tulsa. They just opened up in Oklahoma City. And the way that they're going to get to Tulsa is by tons and tons of new downloads and tons of people in the Tulsa area opening the app and eyeballing it, is what they call it, all the time. So I have Uber on my phone. I open it every day, even though I know that there's not magically going to be a car yet. But the more people who've got the phone, the app, and the more people who are checking it, the more likely Uber is to come to Tulsa. So check out. We're going to be pushing that out in a lot of different ways in the next couple months. But they're very interested in Tulsa. They just need more people to have the app on their phone. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is that the national organization Venture for America, they are seriously looking to expand to Tulsa and Oklahoma City. The way that it works is they can never 100% know if they're coming or not until they have got the companies down, and they're coming here next week to meet with Tulsa area startups. So I put some flyers on the back table with information about when they're coming. They're coming on Monday, and we're having a meeting at I2E. So thank you very much to I2E for opening up their doors, and we will be hosting a matchmaking summit. So if you're a company that thinks you want to hire a recent college grad at a set salary, so a bargain, and you want that talent for 2 years, this is a really, and whatever you're looking for, Venture for America has people from developers to business and development to sales and marketing, and they're really eager young people who are going to be moving here from some of the best colleges in the country to hopefully work for startups in Tulsa. So please check out that flyer, and we'd love to get as many companies who can seriously think about hiring a fellow for fall of 2014. And I'm happy to answer any questions afterwards, but we're really excited that Venture for America is coming to Oklahoma.
All right, single in the city, ladies. We are going to introduce our next speaker. She's one of our very own, Katie Carpenter. You guys could, she has a company called Ever Something. It's an event and floral design company. So let's encourage her as she comes. She's got some products, just saying, right? So, for a second.
That was a joke, Brad.
Good morning. I know that most of you know me as Katie, one of the owners of Foolish Things, and while that is definitely still the case, I launched a company with my business partner, Taylor Fowler, who's sitting up here, last October, and it's called Ever Something Event Styling. And Taylor and her husband got married in this very room last June, and then they had their wedding reception in the cafe and on the patio. And I was able to see Taylor's style through the whole process of planning and then actually executing in floral design, tables set up, just like everything. She did all of it on her own. And I've always had a passion for doing wedding planning, event planning. That was always my dream job. And people told me, or asked me, what do you want to do, when you grow up? I always said wedding planner, and I just didn't know how that would become a reality. So after Taylor's wedding, she and Jake, her husband, come into the cafe a lot, And I approached her and I said, hey, what would it look like if we actually did this? Taylor's always wanted to, do this for her full-time job, but they're in the wedding industry, they do wedding photography, but she's wanted to do a little bit more with showing her style for brides or for people that are having an anniversary party, a bridal shower, not just weddings, any event. So we started Ever Something. And when we did that, we decided, you know what, we need to try to explain through images what our style is, so people will know whether they go to our website, our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and they'll get a feel for what our style is. Because we really try to take, like you were saying, a craft approach to the wedding industry, because the wedding industry sometimes gets a bad rap for being really cliquey or full of just glitter or something that is not everyone's style. So this image behind me is an example of a styled shoot that we did at the cafe, just to kind of give y'all an idea of what we do for events. And here's another table setting that we did. So while we offer planning, whether that's full planning, month of planning, or day of, we also can come in and just set up your event or just do florals. So we offer a wide variety. But what I'm here to talk to y'all today about is Silent Scalable. And something that Taylor is incredibly passionate about, and I'm growing more passionate about as our business grows, because we are very much a startup. Started in October, here we are in almost February, and we're already working with 14 brides. So somehow, some reason, people are trusting us. They know Taylor's style, they know that we're personable, and just want to make sure that they achieve what they want for their wedding. And so this is an example of a floral arrangement that Taylor did last fall. And so this is the idea. The idea is special occasion subscription. I am guilty of this, and I hope there are other people that have been in the boat with me, where it's your significant other's birthday or anniversary or some event that you really should have a card or a significant gift, and you don't, because life gets crazy and you just didn't have time to do that. So you go to CVS, you pick up a card, write something, or you go to the mall. So you have something to give to them, but it's not what you would want to give to them. So one of our ideas is creating a subscription. So, hear me out. Scott, who's with Lieutenant, is actually helping us do a build out of a first draft of an online presence. So if it's not your thing, particularly guys, to talk to girls about flowers for your mom, your sister, your wife, whoever you have in your mind, then we want to create an online presence for you to go in and just give us really simple information. All we would ask for is a date that you're going to be, that you would want us to deliver, an estimate of like how much you would want to spend per arrangement, because flowers can get expensive, and then what the occasion is, because those three indicators will just give us an idea of what type of floral arrangement we would want to create for the person that you're purchasing these for. These are some examples up here. I don't know if everybody can see them, but there's one behind me on the screen. Here's another one. So we can do small, we can do really large, extravagant ones, just depending on what price range you want. So anyway, back to the idea is you go in and you do this, and you have 4 arrangements that you can do, sit down, spend 5 minutes, or even less, putting in the information. And you pay for it then, and so you tell us, I want these 4 arrangements delivered on anniversary, birthday, Mother's Day, and then another day just because. So in one fell swoop, and this is not to be manipulative, but you can, life gets busy, so we've all been there. You have your 4 dates covered, and they're going to be individualized. We never do the same arrangement twice. We're not one of those companies that believes in just, sticking, roses in baby's breath in a, circular glass vase and then out the door. It's going to be in a really unique vessel or vase with unique blooms. We work with a local grower out of Stillwater, so we really try to keep what we use, whether that's greenery or flowers, local. And then obviously, depending on season, if we can't get flowers from her, we have other partners that we can get flowers from. So our passion is really about bringing something beautiful and unique to a wedding or to just brighten up someone's day. So that's kind of a high-level overview. And here's another image of some cool, unique arrangements we've done. So we're trying to bring craft to this whole crazy world of weddings, and just really bring our passion to Tulsa and hopefully beyond. So, thank you.
All right, so we're opening up to questions. Remember, if you have a question, just get my attention. I'll add you to my mental queue.
What's your subscription service called, and has it launched yet?
So it has not launched yet. That's something that we're still in the early stages of. We have people that have either come to our website or our Facebook page and have just, one-off said, hey, we need an arrangement for any given occasion. What we're hoping that it will be is just a link from our current website and then like a purchase, and you'll have 3 different options. One will be just a one-time arrangement. The second option will be what I was talking about, where you can do like a 4-time subscription for arrangements. And the other one, sometimes people don't want that online feel, and so we'll be able to set up a call or a consultation to get more information. So it has not launched.
Do you have an option on the subscription to pick up, or is it always delivery? And with delivery, do you have a delivery like ratings?
Yes to all of the above. We don't currently have a storefront. Taylor and I have been, sometimes you may come in and see flowers strewn about a table here doing grab-and-go bouquets, which, look, there are some for sale. So we're doing it currently out of the cafe or out of Taylor's home. So we don't have a storefront, so we've been defaulting to people picking up here. But something that I think will be beneficial is we will do a delivery, and we're still working on what that ratings will be like, and that'll be articulated more so when we launch the e-commerce side to it.
So you mentioned, more expanding outside. So does that mean you plan on finding a way to shift your area? And my second question is on the subscription service. Are you guys planning on later on offering other types of gifts? I mean, because obviously, giving a gift, like one of the things is the uniqueness, which obviously you're going to roll out your days and stuff, and obviously the base, I'm assuming, is part of the gift. And it looks like you guys put it awesome. So you can do it item basis. So is that something that you
We haven't really thought more beyond like other types of gifts aside from flowers, because that's really something that Taylor, my business partner, is. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Flowers. Yes. So we're just going to stay with flowers for right now and see how that goes. And then if there are, other asks from customers of, hey, have you thought of offering X, Y, or Z? Take a look into it. Just like what you were saying, if it fits what our feel and our brand is, then that might be something that we do, but not for now. And then the other thing is the vessels that we use. So we both, and this kind of originated with Taylor and Jake, just loving to go like either thrifting or going to antique stores or just garage sales and finding really cool vessels or vases. And that's something that I think is really unique to us, because a lot of times you can order really expensive flowers and you're going to get the same round or square glass vase with pebbles in the bottom. And while that is okay, it's just not as unique as we would want it to be. So having unique vessels is something that really has been a differentiator for us, and hopefully something that we'll be able to continue to expand and grow. Does that answer your question?
Hi, Katie. If I were to have an event, and I can handle planning the event, but I just wanted to have a number of floral arrangements for the table, say it was a fundraiser or a birthday party or even Christmas dinner, or something that I just wanted to have a variety of flower arrangements. Can you provide that service as well?
Yeah, so it doesn't just have to be for, a birthday and just one arrangement. I'm just talking about more the side that can scale, because wedding planning, you can't really scale unless you want to be J-Lo and have, like some empire from a wedding that anyway, sorry, I'm getting on tangent. So yeah, you can. We can definitely come in and style your event with just florals, and if you've got everything else covered, we can come in and bring arrangements with, fit the color scheme and the personality of the person that you're doing it for.
So I'm your use case because that happens to me when I forget. But the other thing that's a challenge sometimes is, say it's for a mom and you want to go in together, like with siblings or whatever, because I don't know if it's because we're cheap or if it's because we want to spend more and get something better. But you have like a group pay kind of thought to this where maybe somebody goes on, but then 3 parties end up paying for it or something like that on the subscription model.
That's a really good idea. So yeah, that's going to be one of our asks, is because we haven't launched this and we're still in the idea phase of making this the most user-friendly as possible. What our plan is to have, we have, plan A of what the ordering site will look like, and we're hoping to send that beta link to hopefully anybody in here that would be willing to give it a shot. You're not going to be ordering flowers, at the beta phase, but just those exact ideas of making an option of, you want to spend $150, but you only have $25 to spend, but Sister A or Sister B can contribute more and get a really significant arrangement. I think that's an awesome idea. So I'll definitely do that.
On that subscription idea too, looking out for us guys that buy food service for lives especially. Is it going to be a surprise to you? That's what I gave you. Or is it something that you guys are going to arrange something to notify these guys to say, okay, this is what you're getting? Yeah. So we were like, that's what I picked up. So just looking out for us.
That's a really good idea. That's actually a conversation that Justin and I had last night. So either if it's a week before or probably the day before is probably the best case scenario because you get a lot of emails. It's just a reminder saying, hey, you ordered these flowers back in January. Now it's June 5th, and I'm contacting you on June 4th. The flowers that you picked out for your wife are going to be delivered to her work or her home or wherever, just to let you know. So yeah, you can come home, and that can be an insurance of sorts for you and for us. So you're going to know these flowers are going to be delivered, covered, and if in case something happens and whatever scenario, the flowers don't get delivered, and your wife comes home and she doesn't say anything, then you can contact us and say, hey, pay for these flowers, didn't get them, what happened? So yes, you'll be covered on both ends. Yeah.
Hey, have you heard of Stitch Fix? No. It is a startup in San Francisco that does clothing subscription for women, where they send you 5 items of clothing and you can sign up every month. From price ranges like $28 to whatever, and then send back what you want. That would be something really interesting, particularly on the website build outside, because they ask a lot about your style and which pictures are most interesting to you. And then on the gift side would be something to benchmark if you were thinking about expanding outside of flowers.
Yeah, that is a good idea. So what we would love to do is ask simple questions, because I know having a few conversations with guys, sometimes they don't know how to describe the personal style or the colors or flower names. That's really abstract and kind of scary. So we want to ask the simple questions of date, price range, and occasion. And from those simple answers, we're going to show you an image. So, for example, say the arrangement's going to be delivered in October and you want to spend $55. Based on those 2 items, we're going to then show you a fall-ish arrangement that would be comparable to that amount of money. And then if you like that, then it'll say proceed to payment. And at that point, you're going to fill out who it's being delivered to, the address, payment information. And then if not, I still need to figure out if you have strong opinions and you're like, no, I don't like that, then how to go back. But at that point, if you're like, I don't really like how this is interfacing, and you do know how to describe that information, then we'd love setting up consultations and actually talking with people. But again, we know that people get busy and sometimes that's a daunting thing. So I like the idea of the clothing, but then also trying to meet both needs of guys that don't know how to describe it. Then also if I'm a girl ordering for a sister-in-law or whatever, I can articulate better. So kind of meeting both needs, if that makes sense.
I have a question. And this might be a softball, but I'm just curious how to. A couple things. One, I know you guys have spent a lot of time sort of on your brand and a style guide, photo shoots. How would you describe your brand? That's one of the things I've had a hard time explaining to people. I've gone with like vintage or something, vintage flowers, but that doesn't, I don't know if that fits. Can you sort of talk high level on your brand? What are some different words and things you guys are thinking through? Because it is so different and unique, how you describe that to someone. And then the second question is, what on the flower and the subscriptions, what sort of the price range that you guys, similar to what the Bowties were talking about, they sort of went in the middle. Can you sort of talk about both of those things?
Yeah, so a phrase that we kind of use on our blog, and I don't know if this will mean anything, but simplified beauty. So a lot of times if you're talking about a wedding or just anything that will be styled, it can be kind of over the top. And so while we could do that, if that's really something that people want, we try to make it where it's accessible. So for example, like if you have a table arrangement and you want flowers in the middle, we really try not to do like huge flowers that are blooming. So when you're trying to have a conversation, you're not like dodging. So we try to keep them low and wider. But when it comes to more words to describe our brand, we try to take a craft approach to floral design and just use unique flowers that are in season. I guess vintage could be a word that's used. What other words, Taylor? Yeah. So natural is what Taylor said, and a lot of times you'll see bouquets and it's like round, perfect spherical ball of flowers, and I feel that was what my bouquet looked like, and I liked it at the time. But this is kind of like if you go into a meadow and you like collect flowers, and it's just like natural and kind of all different heights, so your eye is going to different parts of the arrangement or bouquet. And then the second part was price. Yeah. So we really try to be very competitive with our pricing. We use really cool flowers. We can use really high-end flowers, or we can use flowers that are, on a cheaper end, but are still beautiful. So, for example, an arrangement like this would be about $55, $60. So it's not going to be, really expensive, but I mean, flowers can be expensive. So we try not to gouge people with our prices when it comes to like actually doing flowers for a wedding or doing an arrangement. So I would say our price range for arrangements that you would be buying online or over the phone would be anywhere from like $45 to $75, but can obviously go up from there depending on how much you want to spend.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask, and this is, you flowers before in the past with like a local florist like Mary Burns or something like that. And one of the things they always ask is, do I want to send a note with the flowers? And I, as a guy, always feel kind of uncomfortable unpacking my heart to a florist for flowers. Is there any way to accommodate that?
Yeah, so that's something that I'm still trying to work out. With people that I know that have ordered flowers, what we're working on is doing a really cool, just like simple card with an envelope that we give to them or send to them. They then fill out a handwritten note that they would want to express, whether it's for Valentine's Day or an anniversary, and then either give it to us here at the cafe or mail it back to us. So when we drop off the flowers, you're going to get the cool floral arrangement plus the handwritten note from your significant other, and it's not just going to be a generic love you, whoever. But when it comes to ordering online and doing the subscription, I'm still trying to figure out what that would actually look like. So I'm not fully there yet.
So I guess this question has to be asked, if you're signing up for a year subscription of flowers and there's no relationship in a year, how do you handle canceling orders, or do you pay up front for the whole year, or credit card expirations and change of address? And there's lots of logistics, but mainly the breakup.
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. What I was originally thinking was that you would pay up front and then you would be done. You wouldn't have to worry about it. But if you're paying for 4 arrangements and you want to spend, $60 each, that's a significant investment up front. So maybe having a few different payment models, and then if on the chance that you happen to break up or person moves away and out of our delivery, zone, then we'll have to, we're a small business, we can refund you. So right now, I don't think that'll be an issue of actually getting money back to you, but that would be unfortunate for you, so.
All right, as a girl who's received flowers a couple of times, I've known that when the person who's giving me the flowers has thought into it, for example, if I like hydrangeas or I like irises and they're in a bouquet, or, the guy knows I don't like vases and he gives me something useful, or I like a particular type of glass. Do you have something with your subscription service that you can incorporate for guys that kind of like go that extra mile with that extra detail and thought?
Absolutely. So we want to kind of achieve all the different types of people, whether they really can explain somebody's style and they know they like you're saying, hydrangeas and irises, and they hate roses and they hate bright pink. So those pieces would be immensely helpful, and if you have that information, we're going to have optional fields below saying, what type of flowers do they like, what types of colors do they like, a little bit about your personality, and at that point, that person could fill in that information, and then you would really know, like, when you get these flowers, like, wow, like this really is exactly what I would love. So that option will be there, but it won't be necessary.
Your arrangements are lovely. So obviously this is a real industry. You don't have to prove that people buy flowers. If you look at subscription models, which have succeeded in a number of ways, they show you two versions. One is aggregating inventory and then redistributing it, so like makeup boxes or snack boxes. The other is sourcing locally and keeping local, so artisanal foods is one of the models I've seen in like New York and San Francisco recently as well. So I would just suggest that you take a look at maybe some of these artisanal food subscription models that are working, they're scalable. I think that's brought up. There's a way for you to work with local florists, but then share kind of your style guide and business intelligence on the customers. I think that's how scale.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I've got two good ones. Going back to the breakup. Could it be something where you just send out like a month in advance, that you still need whatever on this date, and that gives you like a parent passes away, where you break up, where you maybe your wife no longer works at that location, she's at a new location, so that gives you plenty of time. So that was just an idea, maybe just to send out a month reminder automatically.
Or for any changes.
Right. And then the second thing was, when you were talking about trying to figure out the person who's getting the flower, their style. I know like this Christmas when I was shopping for clothes for my wife, what I would do is I would just take a picture of 3 things and then text them to my sisters and say, which one does my wife like? Because it's hard for me to pick out. So could you incorporate something like that into the ordering process where I take a picture of like our fireplace and mantle and then you go, oh, I know her style based on how she decorates her house or something. Or if I know that the flowers are going to sit on the dining room table, just a picture of my dining room with like whatever's hanging on the wall or all that. Is that something that would be beneficial to you as a awesome thing?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, any and every idea is welcome, and any way to make it more unique and special to you as the person purchasing the flowers, and then how that will positively affect the person receiving the flowers, yes. So if anybody has ideas such as breakup scenario or images that will help us give personal style without you having to like describe it with words, that's awesome. So that will be an ask, and I'm just going to make it known right now. If you have ideas of ways that for you personally put yourself in the situation of ordering the flowers, what would make your experience better, let me know.
Go back here.
I have a question about branding. So when you're approaching the market, you're saying that the problem you're solving is that a lot of people are forgetting, or sometimes forget about certain events, correct? So is that kind of the problem you're solving?
Yeah.
This may be a small problem, or I have a question, is that, are you worried that because that's what your brand will be known about, when women receive something from your brand, they'll be like, because a lot of the time, the special part is that you remember. not so much the gift. They'll see, oh, you hired them to bring flowers because you'll forget. Are you worried that that could be associated with your brand?
Well, not so much. That is definitely a question that I've asked. Like, does this seem manipulative? And I hope the answer is no, because what we're trying to do is just, bring a different approach to the actual floral design aspect. And we know that it's a really unique way of doing flowers. I don't really know how to answer that question, but I think it's just a unique way of somebody that's, thinking of this person. And I mean, this is not to say that you're just going to think of this person for this 5 minutes and then you're not going to think about them the rest of the year. But that we're just going to be helping you out. Because I've been guilty of getting Justin to board that you grilled fish on for his birthday. Like, that's me a few years ago. So, I think the answer is no, but I know I'm not answering your question fully. Yeah, that is definitely something I've thought about. But I don't know how to articulate that in a minute or less. So I'm hoping the answer will be no, because we really are, we're not a manipulative company. That's not who we are. What we want to do is just bring beautiful arrangement to somebody that's special to you.
All right, I got a question. So it's funny just how the guys start asking questions on this, because she presented this idea to me when I was in there, and I already have Valentine's completely set up, and it was like, I don't have to worry about like profusely sweating and stuff and trying to figure things out last minute, because I always bomb on these events. I bought my wife like a $200 iPad cover for her birthday, and she was like, oh sweet, an iPad cover. But like, she's terrible at that stuff. So like, I have this huge sense of relief that's going to be delivered her and do all these things. My question was, and I was thinking about this last night, is have you thought about branding the subscription thing by itself, apart from Ever Something, as more of a, and his question before is like, you don't want to make it look like this like cheap out the guy gets on, this girl's going to take care of me and I didn't participate at all. But branding it separately from that it's more of like this consulting place for guys to go to, that there's pictures and things you choose from and they do participate in it. But apart from your other company, would you ever consider like branding it and making it something that could be scalable?
Yeah, I mean, that is something that we have thought about, but it's not just for guys. We want to make it easy for guys to order flowers because it can be a daunting thing for gentlemen to order flowers for girls because you don't know what to say. But we still want to be true to who our brand is. And so all the arrangements that go out, regardless of if you order 4, if you just order 1, they're all going to be uniquely styled to however something would come in and style a wedding. So that's something that we need to think about, but at the same time, because this is not just for guys and it's not just for them to be covered and then feel like they don't have to think about this person ever again, we need to be careful of the branding and be aware that we don't want people to feel like that we're just coming in to say